What's up, guys? Welcome to What the Health. This is the YouTube channel where you'll find all things health, as well as financial related to the industry. And we are just here to teach each other. The main focus of this first episode is just an overview on financial matters and basically how to avoid certain hurdles as a young medical professional. I've currently been practicing for the past 6 years, and I have learned a few things along the way. I've made my fair share of mistakes, and I will help you navigate that space and basically avoid you getting into a pickle yourself. So I started doing my internship in 2020, which was during the start of COVID. And around that time, we were like the last fortunate group that had the least amount of headaches, but there were some amongst us who didn't get employed. And that over the years has raised a few questions for me on what options do you have as a medical graduate facing unemployment. The one thing that I can say is if you are fortunate enough, you're looking at 3 years of guaranteed employment. And post that, you need to basically weigh your options and see where best you fit and whether you can get into that space. My advice, if you are still doing your final year and next year you're going to start internship and you're looking at that very beautiful starting salary, somewhere around 50,000 Rand after taxes. And my advice is don't get into debt. You will have the option of doctor's accommodation, and if they can't give you that, there will be an allowance that is paid to you to get a decent accommodation. And don't get a very expensive place. You're only there for 2 years. Get somewhere that's comfortable. Like if you get DQ, live in DQ for 2 years. Save as much money during internship as you can. You're coming from a very low allowance. Some people are fortunate, they're looking at like 10,000 Rand, but most people are not fortunate. You are looking at maybe 2,000-3,000 Rand that you were living on, and now you're jumping to this crazy salary of 50,000 Rand. But just remember that at the end of your 2 years of internship, you may not get a community service placement. So save so that when challenges come along the way, you have a rainy day fund. So at least if you can, because your employment is not guaranteed, save half of your salary. Take 25,000 Rand. I know it's a lot of money, but if you're coming from no income, that 25,000 Rand, if you set it as something that's automated, either put it into easy equities. There's lots of investment houses. There's Abacon, Blue Star. They probably will approach you. There's your Sanlams. There's all of these investment vehicles. Use them. These people, they look like they're here to take your money. Use them. Use their expertise. Ask for advice. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own financial matters. So my advice, take half, live on half, because when internship ends and you have nothing, you are going to be kicking yourself. So if you save half of 50,000 Rand at the end of internship, you will have in excess of 300,000 Rand saved. You could just stop there. Take the 300,000 Rand, invest it somewhere so that at the end of community service, you have something to say that during this period where I don't know what's happening with my life, I don't know where I'm going, at least you have some investment so that you start off on something. You start off on a positive. So if you can, save half, because your real expenses are your food, clothing, accommodation, Usually when there's DQ, it's 1,000 rand. And then the rest is for you to spend on yourself. 25,000 rand is a lot of money to live. You can go out, you can buy your cappuccinos, whatever. You can live. You can pay your gym membership. But the moment you start adding these debt products there, you start buying yourself your BMWs, then you're going to get into a hot mess. So if you can, please try and save half. So that's 25,000 rand times 10. In 10 months, you have 250,000 rand that no one is going to give you. In 2 years, if you continue at the same direction and trend, you have more than 600,000 rand saved. Then going into community service, you're looking at 1 year of guaranteed employment. So in that year, you can continue at the same trend. This is assuming that you don't have kids, you don't have responsibilities. I mean, if you do send money at home, guys, please don't send too much money at home. I know you feel that you owe your family. Have it on a budget as well. But try that 25,000 rand. Right now, I'm looking at that. I'm like, yo, if I had this advice and I did that, and I start community service, I have 600,000 rand. End of community service, I'd have 1 million. So you see, in the space of your 3 years of employment, if you live like conservatively, and guys, there are families that are surviving on that 25,000 rand. You are alone. 25,000. And at the end of community service, you can have somewhere close to 1 million. And then if you decide, no, I don't have work, you start your practice. Clean, debt-free. Or if you are lucky and you have an interest in emergency medicine, there's lots of players within the private emergency medicine space. Their requirements are that at least you have ACLS, PALS, ATLS or EMAT, or is it called GRET? Yeah, those trauma courses. At least if you have those, then you have your foot in the door for emergency medicine. But if you have ACLS and PALS, at least you have your foot in the door for general practice as well, because I think a few of these players now are requiring that. But imagine what 1 million rand at the end of community service can do for your own mind. You could even take some of that money, buy a car cash. I'd say if you're saving this aggressively, end of internship, you can buy your car cash, or end of first year, you can buy your car cash. You can buy a pre-owned car. I would advise you get pre-owned. Get a pre-owned car. You can get a decent car for like under 200,000 rand, a reliable car at that. Pay that off. You have a car cash that you own and no one can take away from you. Pay it off cash. And other things that you must focus on, make sure that you have your income protections, you have a retirement annuity. The positive thing with having a retirement annuity is the fact that at the end of the tax year, you will get a rebate, a tax rebate for just investing. SARS is paying you to save money. So use that to your own advantage. That money you could either spend or whatever you want or invest. But yeah, if you're starting out, guys, save half of your salary if you can. But at least guys, 10%. 10% of that 50,000 rand you must save every month. At the end of the year, it's 60,000 rand. 2 years, 120,000 rand. End of community service, you're looking at somewhere around you're looking at somewhere around 80 to 200, I think 180 to 200,000 rand. That money that you don't owe anyone, take that money. You have some breathing room. If you don't have debt products, then you have even more breathing room, because now If end of community service, they're saying, hey, chief, we can't employ you, then that 200,000 rand, if you're living a low expense life, then that 50,000 rand can stretch you for half the year, where all you're paying for is accommodation and food while you find a new opportunity, because there are lots of opportunities outside of that primary formal employment with the state. You can go into aesthetic medicine, you could become a general practitioner, you could go into emergency medicine, you could assist surgeons in theater. There's the likes of your insurers. The difficult part around this space is that they do require some private experience, but other times they do waive that. So you could work for your medical schemes. Your other options in that space, there's health tech now, there's UDoc, all of these players within this space that can provide you employment. You could even leave medicine. Your degree does not tie you down. But my advice, don't take on debt. Debt products are setting you back. So use cash when you can help it. If you can't, then go cheap, guys. Like, let's stop living like the doctors that people see on social media. Those people have earned their keep. If I now in my space now want to start splurging on myself, it's fine, guys. I've been working for 6 years, but don't over utilize debt, because that sets you back. You look back 5 years time, you've done nothing, you have nothing to your name. You just have a car, if it's still running, or you've upgraded and your investments are non-existent. Guys, we are going into an age where if you don't have savings and investments, your options are limited, and you rely more on assistance from others, or you could find yourself unemployed. So let us be wiser with money, doctors. Let's start investing in ourselves and our future. Thank you, guys. Till the next one.